Welcome to Terror to Triumph. I am your host, Alfonso Pelt, and this is my lovely co-host, Storm. Storm, how you doing tonight? I like this. She got the big smile on, y'all. That's what's
I'm
up.
fine.
She
I'm
doing
doing
good.
lovely.
Okay. Glad to hear it, Storm. Glad to hear it. Tonight we got a good episode for you guys. This is part 3 of the React series. This is going to be talking about on the run. Flight response, understanding escape and avoidance. So we have a lot of information for you tonight. As usual, everything you could use right now to help you understand yourself and the environment around you, how you deal with it and how to cope. But first, before we get into this, we have some announcements. We are on 3 different platforms broadcasting. The major platforms are terrortotriumph.buzzsprout.com. Okay, you can go there, subscribe, check out all of our audio podcasts. You can go on youtube.com at Terror to Triumph Live. That's our YouTube channel. And you can see all our videos for all our podcasts. We live stream and also we do pre-recording. So you can go there and check out all our stuff we got there, okay? Also, we have peltsemporium.com, which is our merchandise store. You can go there and buy any branded Terror to Triumph merchandise, and that goes to help support this podcast airing and keep the conversations going. We are starting a new platform. It's called Riverside, riverside.com. You can go there, look up Terror to Triumph, and you can see and hear our podcasts and our live streams. So with all that being said, Terror to Triumph is on a lot of major different platforms as far as the podcast, audio podcast goes. So go check out your local podcast or whichever platform you like to look at and look up Terror to Triumph on there and we'll probably be on there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so on. We have a lot of different RSS feeds out there going to a lot of different platforms. So please go and do your due diligence to check it out. Like, subscribe, and share. Share. Tell everybody about this podcast because it can help somebody and possibly save somebody's life. Okay. Now, our broadcast times, if you didn't know, if you're new to the platform, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So your local time, check your local time and do the differential calculations to see what time we will be on in your area. We also are global, and you can go and check out Terror to Triumph podcast in your local area around the globe. We're in over 37 different countries and we are in over 150 cities now. So we can possibly reach you where you're at. Please go and check us out. Tell somebody, tell a family member, tell friends, tell your coworkers. We can possibly help them. Now, to the last part of the announcements, we have some more special guests for you guys, okay? We have Saturday, May 9th, Dr. David Marcus. He's a psychologist. He will be with us. He's also a survivor. He's going to tell us his story, how he was able to leave the veil of darkness and shame and guilt and regret and how he overcame that and learned to turn his life over into being a healer and helping people. Also, Saturday, May 16th, Tracy Smaldino, a survivor and host of the podcast Trauma Rock Stars. She will be with us sharing her story of how she went from terror to triumph, how she overcame her traumas, and she has an amazing story, you guys. I don't want you to miss either one of these people. I'm going to keep lining up guests for you guys because there's a lot of information that they have. And as they come, I'm going to share it with you. I told you as soon as I get the information, I'm going to divulge it to you guys so you can have better understanding of not only yourself, but how you deal with the world around you and also avenues to get the help that you need. Okay. Now, without further ado, last week we talked about fawning, right? the response where you appease to survive. This week, we're talking about exploring the opposite, flight, the urge to escape, the compulsion to run. If you grew up in an abusive home, flight might have been your lifeline. It might still be. Today, we're breaking down what flight looks like, why it happens, and how to heal from a lifetime of running. So, what is flight, right? Flight is the body's instinct to escape danger. Black people, we like to say they got some rabbit in them. Okay. You run, you flee from danger, right? So, according to RAINN, RAINN, that's the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, the flight response is one of 4 primary trauma responses, and it's automatic. It's not a choice. It's deeply rooted in your nervous system. When you're a child in an abusive home, flight might mean physically leaving, running to your room, hiding in the basement, going to a friend's house. But as an adult, okay, flight looks different. It's avoidance, it's distraction, it's the constant urge to move, to escape, to be anywhere else but where you are. According to Old Vineyard Behavioral Health, the flight response involves the urge to escape or run away from the traumatic situation. Individuals may feel anxious, panicked, or reckless. Your body is literally flooded with adrenaline, a stress hormone that prepares you or compels you to run. Here's what's happening neurologically. When your nervous system perceives a threat, it activates your sympathetic nervous system, the gas pedal, if you will, right? So your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Have you been feeling that way? Blood flows away from your digestive system and towards your limbs, preparing you to flee. For a child in an abusive home, this response makes sense. Running away could mean safety. But now, as an adult, you might be running from things that aren't actually dangerous: relationships, emotions, commitment, vulnerability, stillness. All of these things you could possibly be running away from that won't harm you. So I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Flight doesn't always look like, I'm echoing, but flight doesn't always look like physical running away. It's more stable than that. Let me break down what flights look like in adulthood. Physical flight, you have trouble sitting still. You're always busy, always moving, always on the next thing. You may exercise compulsively, work excessively, or constantly rearrange your life. Stillness feels unbearable. Emotional flight, you avoid difficult emotions. When sadness, anger, or fear comes up, you distract yourself. You numb yourself with substance, food, shopping, social media, or work. You don't let yourself feel. Relational flight, you leave relationships when they get too close. You sabotage good things because intimacy feels dangerous. You keep people at arm's length. You always ready to exit. Mental flight, your mind races. You can't focus. You constantly planning your escape route. Even when you're safe, you're catastrophic about worst case scenario so you can prepare to flee. Avoid flight. You avoid situations that trigger anxiety. You don't go to certain places. You have certain conversations. You build your life around avoiding triggers, which actually makes your world smaller and smaller. According to research from the Attachment Project, children who experience trauma and develop a flight response often connect to assist in hyper-aroused hyper-aroused states as adults. Your nervous system is always scanning for danger, always ready to run. The tricky part, flight often feels productive. It looks like ambition, independence, self-reliance, but underneath is fear. Belief that if you stop moving, you get too close. If you let yourself feel, something bad will happen. If you like what you're hearing,
Well,
like,
here's
comment,
what
share,
nobody
and
tells you about
subscribe.
flight. It's exhausting and it comes with a real cost. When you're
Mhm.
in constant state of flight, your nervous system is chronically activated. According to the CPTSD Foundation, this hyperarousal can lead to anxiety disorders, sleep disturbances, and difficulty with emotional regulation. Your body is literally running on fumes. There's also what we call avoidance paradox. The more you avoid something, the more power it has over you. I feel that sometimes still. So if you avoid conflict, conflict becomes scarier. If you avoid intimacy, intimacy becomes more threatening. If you avoid sitting with your emotions, those emotions become more intense. And then there's the relational cost. Flight often shows up as ghosting. That's a term we're all familiar with, right? Sudden exits or emotional unavailability. People in your life might feel abandoned or confused. They don't understand that you're not running from them. You're running from the feeling of being trapped, of being vulnerable, or of being seen. According to the research from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network, children who survive through flight responses may continue to struggle with commitment, trust, and sustained relationships. The nervous system learned staying is dangerous, leaving is safe. There's also a spiritual cost. I bet you guys really didn't think about this part. Flight keeps you from being present. You're always somewhere else in your head, in the future, planning your escape. You miss your whole life when you're living. You miss your whole life while you're living it. That's kind of weird, but it's true. I can see that. But here's the hopeful part. Flight is a learned response, and what's learned can be unlearned, right? So your nervous system can learn that you're safe, that staying is possible, and that you don't have to run.
So, how do you heal from a lifetime of running? Here are the core practices. First, notice the urge to flee. When you feel to impulse to leave a relationship, a conversation, a feeling, pause. Don't judge it. Just notice. Ask yourself, am I in danger or does this feel familiar? Second, practice staying. Start small. Stay in a conversation 5 minutes longer than you want to. Stay in a feeling for one more breath. Stay in a relationship through one conflict. Your nervous system needs evidence that staying doesn't kill you. Third, develop distress tolerance. According to the dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, the stress tolerance skills help you sit without discomfort without running. These includes the TIPP skill, temperature, splash cold water on your face, intense exercise, P, pause breathing, and P, paired muscle relaxation. Fourth, build safety signals. Your nervous system needs to know you're safe. This may be a person, a place, a ritual, or a grounding practice according to the vagal theory, your vas nervous, which regulates your nervous system, responds to safety clues. Create them intentionally. Fifth, slow down intentionally. Meditation, yoga, or simply sitting in nature can help regulate your nervous system. You're teaching your body that stillness is safe. Six, seek trauma informed therapy. Therapy is like symptomatic experiencing or trauma focused CPT specifically address how flight is stored in your body. A good therapist can help you process
Mm.
the original threat and build new neural pathways. Seven, reframe staying as strength. Staying is not weakness. Staying is courage. Staying is the ultimate act of healing. Choosing to be
You've been
present,
running
to be
for a
vulnerable,
long
to be
time.
seen.
You can stop now. It's safe to
Yes.
stay. It's safe to feel. It's safe to be still. Remember, you're not broken. You survived. And now you're learning a new way to live. Understand that self-care, it isn't selfish, and that taking care of yourself is honoring your own healing. Now, before I close out, I just want to go back over what we just discussed. You guys, when I think about flight,
Mhm.
I did have flight in me initially. I would run from my parents when the whoopings would come or the abuse was about to start. I was running, but because I didn't have anywhere to run to, there was times I ran down the street, but I would get caught or I realized I had nowhere to go. So I ended up coming back home because I didn't know where to run to. And I was afraid. I was scared. Also, the abuse from me running was even more severe. And that broke me out of running. You ever been in a situation where you've been physically abused so much that you're you want to run, but you're afraid of the consequences of running, even though you know you're about to get beat again? That type of situation. So fleeing, I know is a response mechanism that does keep you safe. And people laugh, people make fun of it. We see the memes on social media where kids run away from parents whooping them and all that kind of stuff. But that's not because they feel like it's a joke. The kid's not looking at it like that. The kid's looking at it like they don't want to get beat. And maybe they have been getting beat to the point where it's not just punishment, but now is abuse. That could be a sign of a bad parent when your child runs like that. I mean, no child wants to be reared. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that type of punishment is acceptable when done the right way. But we tend to run innately because there's something we're running from. And that is something that we cannot tolerate. The fear of being tortured, abused, whether it's physically, sexually, as a child, you want to run. You're gonna run initially, unless the fear is just so overwhelming that you freeze. This is kind of giving me some goosebumps thinking about this because it's bringing up some stuff I haven't thought about in a long time. Storm, is this resonating with you any? Is it making you feel something that or stirring something in you that you haven't felt in a while?
Oh, well, my abuse, I have to, I wasn't abused as a child. My abuse came as an adult. My abuse came from the trauma of relationships and learning how to get along in other relationships and not carry the baggage with me because of the abuse of that relationship. And this abuse, I think it became after the therapist, after I had therapy. So now I was trying to figure out, do I ghost everybody? And I did for a long time. Right. I think I didn't have a relationship for I think 3 to 4 years, So because it was a haunting. How do you deal with it? How do you,
Mhm.
not hurt nobody's feelings? And so rather than to hurt people's feelings or rather to put up with a lot of simple things, everybody, I didn't want to ghost people. So I prefer not to just be in relationships. As a matter of fact, I was running from a relationship in 1999. In running from their relationship, the person was running, like, not gonna let you run. And I think that's what made me quit ghosting and quit running because that person was willing to run after me. And if that person wouldn't have ran after me, everybody, I probably would have still been ghosting people.
So, dealing with flight response as we talked about tonight, how did you come out of running? Or when was it that you found yourself running or realized that that was a reaction to trauma?
Give you my number, but it was necessarily that I knew that I didn't have to answer you back. It was just like,
Mm.
I'm like, I'm gonna give you my number because I just want you to get up out my, I just want you to leave me alone, but when that person called and it was just something about this particular person and he was not like everybody else, you know. You always have that one person that's gonna be the oddball. And he was the oddball because I was going through a lot, you know. Like I said, when you in an abusive and you don't fought,
Yeah.
because I fought for 6 months. Some people fight for 4 to 7 years, I fought for just 6 months. And after 6 months, I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to fight anymore. And I think I told everybody that, it was a bus driver that saved my life, But I was running because I didn't know that it was domestic violence or domestic abuse at that time. And I didn't know that I was in a domestic situation. I just knew that we fought every day. We fought every day or every other day. But it was about stupidity, weird stuff that you shouldn't even be fighting about. I see 4'9". This person was 265 pounds, 6'3". And you imagine somebody just trying to bully you around and fight you, hit on you because they want what they want and you're not willing to give them what they want. And I had to fight. I had to fight. I'm not gonna say that I didn't take no licks, but I gave a whole bunch. And my licks didn't show because he didn't try to damage my face. That's the good part about it. But he still hit me in areas that damaged me in a lot of ways. I never forget I was at work and I was changing because I was trying to hurry up and change clothes because I was always running because I would have to run and I kept clothes at work just in case I had to run. So I was changing and I think a coworker came and they seen like the bruise like on the side because I had a big bruise on the side. And I was, trying to hurry up and slip on it. It's like, can you explain? I said, I don't want to explain it right now. I didn't tell them that it wasn't none of their business. I just said, I don't, I care to not explain it right now. You wouldn't understand if I did explain it to you and you're not going to help, if I explain
Mhm.
it to you, are you going to help me? Are you going to help get me out of this situation? Everybody can say that they on your team, but are they really on your team when you tell them, hey, this is what I'm dealing with? Do you really have that team? Do you have that person that's going to be really there rooting for you, like the therapists, like the people that's supposed to be there? Are you really going to have your cheer team? Are you really going to have the people that's going to be there for you? To be honest with you, everybody, oh, not unless they really somebody that grew up with you, a childhood best friend or whatever. You don't have nobody rooting for you. You don't have nobody on your team. You are by yourself. But I had one person, and I cannot discuss it, but they came forward and they helped me. And I owe that person. I love that person. If you out there and you watching, I love you for what you did for me back then. But yes, it hurts everybody. It hurts because it haunts you. It cuts you like a knife. And yes, you can go on pretending because I pretend. I dressed up, I made up. I made up like I was in relationships and everything like I had it going on. I didn't have nothing going on, people. Nothing going on but a ghost for a person. Cause I didn't have nobody. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm happy. Did you see, with this person? Da 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 da. But with nobody. I was putting on the makeup. I was glowing like I had it going on. People, I didn't have nothing going on, but tears that was being poured on the inside, a pen and a pad
So you
that
sound
kept writing because that's the only thing, that's how I could vent.
you sound like you sound like
Remember, we talked
that
about
you
how
had
that you,
a couple of things
huh?
out of the list that you had mentioned, like relationship or relational flight, the mental flight, the avoidance flight. So when those things came up, you
Yeah.
were out, like like you discussed with the phone situation. You gave your number out to talk to people, but it was like, "No, I'm not feeling that.
Hmm.
I'm not answering when you call." So that was like a way of you keeping your arm out, like to keep people away from you. Even if they got close enough to ask you, just to avoid the argument, that was more of that was more of a relational and avoidance flight because you avoided the situation that could potentially bring anxiety.
Yeah. Cause Yeah, cause it's like, huh, here come my number, and leave me alone. That's what it was, like, huh, here come my number, but like, leave me alone because I'm gonna ghost you anyway. I don't have to answer. Cause you didn't have cell phone, people. You had a regular house phone back then. You didn't have a cell phone. So I'd be like, I went at home, I didn't hear it, I was asleep, So I had every excuse in the book not to answer no phone. And I had every excuse to ghost you because we didn't have cell phones back then. So I was really, really, really ghosting you. But it was one person that just said I wasn't gonna ghost them. And even when I got with them and I was like, okay, this not gonna last long. I'm not gonna worry about this. This gonna be like, he ain't gonna he ain't gonna do what I want him to do. He ain't gonna be there like I want him to be there for. But you know what, everybody? One person changed that. My little baby changed it. My little baby grasped a hold of that person. I was like, I was mad, because I was like, babies can tell the truth because they can tell you who they don't want in your life and who they want in your life. Babies know what's real and what's not. But she was gravitating to this person. I was like, oh, I was like, and I'm like, well, how dare you like this person, because mommy was going to ghost this person. And this person did what nobody else probably would have did. That person took the time for my daughter, and he took my daughter under his wings,
All
and
right.
that's how my daughter became
Hey,
a gamer. How do you teach a 1-year-old how to game? A 1.5-year-old child gaming because you done put a remote control in her head and you done taught her how to game. And I thought that he was just putting on a front because I was like, he got my baby with a remote control in her head like she really doing something. And he said, no,
was really
she
playing.
really playing the game. I had to sit there, everybody, and watch. And he taught a 1 year old. My baby was just one, maybe a year and 2 months, maybe a year, 3 months, baby. He taught her how to play Mario. Mario, where you have to hop over stuff and do stuff. He taught her how to play that. I'm like, Lord have mercy, Jesus. You know? So, but that's what made me kind of like him. Cause I was like, yeah, we had no other choice not to ghost him. Cause,
Mm.
it kind of she is the reason, she was the make or break. Everybody, she was the make or break. And that's how she broke me. She broke me because I forgot between the year I did have one relationship in between, but it was supposed to be another abusive relationship, and I had to fight that person one time. It was one fight. That person didn't get a chance to get no licks in. I just went ahead and did what I needed to do, and that person was running for their car. But I just don't have time, so that's what really made me ghost people. But like I said, my daughter was like a year and 2 months, and she was the make or break. She's the reason why I stopped ghosting, and she's the reason why I was able to really fall in love with this person. And this person fell in love with my child first, and and he cared about me. And so if she didn't have, he was there. If she had to go to the doctor, he was there. And
But
that was the make or break. But that's the make or break that stopped me from
you
ghosting
had a
everybody.
positive
Because my mom, yeah.
intervention, so to speak. See, in
Hmm.
my running, in as I became an adult, the way that I would ghost people was very much similar to you. I wasn't a guy that gave second
Hmm.
chances back then. Not at all. It would take a lot out of me to even reach out. And, it's always been the man should approach the woman type situation. But for me, it took a lot for me to reach out to somebody to want to, try to talk because I know my emotions were deeply hung up on a person. I might not say something to a person sometimes because I'm like, what if I get with them and it don't
Yeah.
turn out to be nothing of what I think it should turn out to be like? Or, I have all these extra thoughts like, I don't know, I don't want to get in no bad relationship, but they do look nice. They seem like a nice person. So I was like self-sabotaging before I could even try to see if it could be a decent thing or not. Flight wise wouldn't even make it to like a relationship status. It would be like I was searching for any and every little thing that I would deem to be a no or a red flag to me. I had to shake my head because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was an asshole. I was straight up an asshole. If I slept with a woman and it was something, no matter how minuscule it was, I ghost right then. I mean, it was like the very next day, you would not get a phone call. You would not be able to get in contact with me. I'd block you. Tell a security guard at my apartment complex, don't let her up. Anything, it was like total avoidance, 180 from what the day before was. And it could have been something as small as something that was said or a reaction to something I said. And either thing, whatever it was, it could have even been how they were. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example without saying any names. This person, I don't know if they're watching it. They might know who they are from what I explained, but I'm not gonna say your name. I'm not putting you out there on Front Street. But this is for the listeners to understand what flight is. There was this woman I really liked, but years went by. I wouldn't talk to her. We were coworkers. And the one time I got the nerve to approach this woman, she was already in a relationship. And I think she had not too long ago got into this relationship. So actually, I self sabotaged myself so much. I missed the opportunity to date her because I waited and procrastinated and rethought, overthought, and thought myself out of a possible relationship. So time went on, and I think years later after that, she approached me and we started talking. And I was kind of like puzzled because I'm like, isn't she still in a relationship? She didn't mention anything about it. And I asked, I was like, well, what happened to the relationship that you were in? They're not together anymore. Okay. So I guess that I was supposed to pick up on that as soon as she started coming back. But I was slow. to relationships because I haven't had a whole lot of relationship experience, even that in my adult life because I avoided relationships. So we got into a dating type thing. And one day she came over. I think her car broke down. So I was like, "What you gonna do? You gonna call AAA or?" And she was kind of like, "What you think I should do?" I'm like, "Call a tow truck. Have your car taken to the shop. I mean, isn't that what everybody does? When your car break down." But it was like I was so relationship and emotionally unaware because of my trauma that I didn't know she was literally putting the keys of leadership in my hands. She wanted me to take control. She wanted me to handle her situation. She wanted to see what I was going to do if I was man enough to take care of her. I mean, I did get her car to the shop and everything, but to me, that was a red flag. I didn't want somebody who seemed clueless about what they needed to do. So I ghosted this poor woman. And that came back to haunt me later on because she was a really nice lady. And I didn't realize what she was doing. And I hated that I did that to her. And she's not the only one I did that to, ghosting and all that stuff. I've had an opportunity to be with some really nice women. And the trauma response of fleeing when you think you perceive a red flag, and it wasn't, but it was a red flag to me because it made me feel like she's trying to use me. That's what it was kind of feeling like. But that wasn't the case at all. So avoidance flight and emotional flight kind of played both into my situation. It was it was also relational flight because I didn't want to continue this thing if that was the case. So I was like, I need to get out, you know. But in hindsight, looking at it, how I perceived things, I was already looking with one leg in the door on the way out as I entered into a possible relationship. I'm looking, I'm trying to see how to get out of this before we even called it a relationship. It could be a date. I'm looking for red flags on a date. Like, I'm not trying to be all this with you if you're going to even do one thing out the way, out of the ordinary. I'm not. I'm not. So that was a lot to share with you. That was a lot to share.
It was hard. Yeah, it's hard. It is. I know, but this is where when you share and you let it put it out there, this is where you get, you know, clarity, and this is where you start to release stuff that makes you feel a lot better to move
It's not
on,
it's
and
not
that's what you have
just
to do. That's what your
for
therapist would
me.
tell
You
you
know
to
what I'm
do,
saying?
so this
I
helps
I
you
use myself as an
to
example,
take your
for
walk.
other people to say, to look at me and say, "Dang, is that what I've been doing?"
Yeah.
To be introspective,
Yeah.
I give myself as an example so you can be introspective and try to line up and say, "Okay, I did this. Is that lining up with what he said he did?" So you can have something to compare with. Because as a survivor, you isolate and you don't have anybody to compare yourself with the things that you do. So that's why I always say 100% disclosure on everything about me, my past, my history, whatever. I don't
Well,
mind
he'll
if
be back.
people ask
It's
questions
always,
about
some
me
technical
and anything in my
difficulties,
past
but just
because I'm
always
an open
know
book
that
and I
when
have to
you're
be
going
because
through different scenarios of flight, you have the relationship flight, you have the avoidance flight, you have different kind of flights, and you have to make sure that, you know, that is something that you prepare yourself. You make sure that everything that we have talked about, that you understood each one, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's so many different ones, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention so that you can know about the emotional flight, the relationship flight, the mental flight, your physical flight, because they all these different flights. they deal with the human body. And once you understand what you're going through, some of these things you can prohibit them from happening. They don't necessarily have to happen. You can prohibit them from happening because now you know and you have more control over what's going on and what is happening. So always know that you can, once you get with your therapist, and understanding the different situations in life, then you can take control what you're going. You don't really want to ghost people. You don't want to stay in tune because when you learn your box breathing, when you learn what you're going through, then you won't have to worry about the physical flight. When you can do the exercises and stuff like that, the emotional flight, you already know that these are the things that you can go through. The relationship flight is how it works. Everybody we
You
have
finish, Mr. Pelt.
it's different scenarios and
Yeah,
different
I
situations.
apologize
And
about
know
Okay.
that,
that these
folks.
things can be controlled
We
I
always
can't hear
because
switching.
you.
you can
You
be
can't hear
there
me?
to take control over the
You can't
situation.
hear me. Let me see
And
what's
this
going
is
on
how
here.
it
Can you hear me
works.
now?
Unless you finish, Mr. Pelt.
You cannot hear me now, right?
Okay.
Testing one,
Okay, I
two.
can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
I can't hear you. Okay, continue.
Well, I might just pop out of here. Can you hear me still?
Okay, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
don't know what's
Okay,
going on with my
continue.
video, but I want to continue with the flight response in relationships. I was just saying that I give myself as an example
Yes.
so that others can have something to compare with, because healing comes from when you speak out and you become empowered when you take control of your fate, of your destiny, if you will, by owning what happened to you, speaking out about it, and commanding what happens afterward. You don't have to accept and sit back and say, well, woe is me. I'm the only one going. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm here to give you the tools that you need to be empowered, to find your inspiration, to reach out to somebody to receive the help that you need, whether it's call line like the suicide and crisis a lifeline, which is 988, or if it's something else, a domestic abuse line or childhood abuse line or any other lines that we give out on this platform. I'm trying to reach you where you're at. And this platform is designed just for that. So we can have honest conversations. So we can be real with each other. I mean, truly real. Full disclosure, no holds barred. We're not trying to sugarcoat anything. We're trying to be most realistic as we can, because that's what's going to get you over the hump. If I was just to keep saying everything's going to be okay, you just have to put one foot in front of the other. You just have to take it one day at a time. You just have, and then I can hit you and beat you in the head with all the colloquialisms that we have in life, but that's not going to help you. The actual work and the things that we talk about on this platform will help flat out. The people that we bring on this show, their testimonies of how they got over, how they overcame their traumas, and now they're flourishing. I'm bringing that as an example to you. These are survivors. Dr. Marcus, that's coming on the show this coming
Yes.
Saturday. Miss Small Dino, that's going to be on the show the next week after. They are survivors. And they have amazing stories to tell and information to give to you guys.
Yes.
We are here for you, basically. This is service that we're not asked to give. We're not doing it for fame. We're not doing it for fortune. We're not doing it for accolades. We're not doing it just to say they're an internet sensation or they're, what they call it, mega streamers or whatever. We're not doing it for that. We're doing it for healing's sake. because we want you guys to be healed. We want you guys to receive the healing that you deserve, that you're supposed to have. We want you to be the people that God created you to be. You can't be that when someone is taking a major portion of you and forced you to hide in silence, in fear. That's not who we were created to be. So we're here to have open dialogue. If you want to make a comment, you can. We'll talk to you right here, right now. We're live, even though we're almost out of time. We had a lot to talk about tonight. Like always, we have a lot of information to give you before. Oh, no.
Yes, we'll talk to you right now, and if you want to make a comment or you want to do anything, just always remember, and you can do it on, all platforms because we're broadcasting on many different platforms and you can ask your questions, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Spotify. These are many different TikTok, these are different venues that we advertise across. So always remember that you can always, you will always ask questions any time of day because we'll look at it and we can answer your questions, you know. And as we always say, toward the end of the video, we have to pay in order to bring this to, bills have to be paid. We appreciate if you visit www.pelsemporium.com, look at the merchandise. Everything is available to you, for purchase. Everything accounts toward, towards what we do. Except for Crystal Corner. So remember, anything except for Crystal Corner, towards what we do, that you purchase on www.pelts, anything except for Crystal Corner, Emporium.com. It'll help us pay the bills here. www.pelts,
Well said. Well said.
www.peltsemporium.com. It'll
Did you
help
hang?
us pay
That's
the
why I didn't
bills
say
here.
nothing when I came back. 'Cause you was going
Okay,
through there. I
back
was
to
like,
you,
oh,
Alfonso.
okay, she handling business. I feel it. Even though I'm having technical difficulties over here, she still take. That's why I got this woman on the team. She handled business. She ain't letting it slide, y'all. She handling business. But real quick, we only got like a little over 4 minutes left. I want to let y'all know about next week. We have part 3. This has been
Yes.
part 2 to the React series. Part 3 is called Enter at Your Own Risk. It's the fight response. We're digging into fight responses, aggression, anger, and what it means to stand your ground. If I don't know, I'm going to just say this now because I don't want to get cut off before our time is up. So I'm going to just say this right now. Storm and I both thank you for being here. We'll see you next week on Terror to Triumph. And remember, help is closer than you think. And I hope I get some technical help. So, man, y'all need to buy some of the merchandise on Terror to Triumph so we can buy better equipment. Help us help you, man. Help us help you. We tried. We're doing it on a shoestring budget, but you can help us help you. We laugh and joke about it. We try to have a good time amidst the seriousness of this subject, but on the real, we are very passionate about helping you guys because we know what it's like to come up through life without any type of help, suffering as we did. And that's a real thing. So it's in our hearts to reach out to you guys and help you. And that's why we do what we do. So help us to help you. Go on Pels Emporium, check out this stuff I designed. You ain't going to find this nowhere else. And if you do, it's a knockoff. I created all these designs myself. You can go there, purchase some stuff with the Terror to Triumph branding, and those sales goes directly to help keep this podcast going. So, yeah, like Storm said, it'll help us pay the bills. You can also subscribe to our platform on Buzzsprout. It's very cheap. It's only $10. And you will get some episodes that you do not catch with us on our regular platforms. It's only on Buzzsprout, our main audio podcast host. So check us out, y'all. We trying to be here for the long run. and we can't do it without your assistance. So we appreciate anything and everything that you can help us with. And Storm, do you have anything to say before we close out? We got like 2.5 minutes.
No, I'm good.
You good? She good, y'all. She good.
Yes.
she
No, I'm
when Miss
good.
Storm is good, then the show is good. Okay, so that means we're done for tonight.
Yes.
So remember, keep your heads on a swivel. In this climate, with the governments we have out in this world, as a survivor, things are very tense for us, extremely tense. We're already in hypervigilance mode, always looking over our shoulder. And now, with situations such as in America with ICE, with the situation over in Palestine with Israel, with the situation with America fighting Iran and Russia versus Ukraine, the United Nations and NATO and their clandestine activity.
It's so much going on in the world today. Just remember that, just stay in alignment and just remember that we're here for you. So when you reach out to us and you subscribe to Buzzsprout, which is only $10 a month, know that, you can get everything that you need to hear, everything that will help you, all the tools that you need for survival. Even you can subscribe on YouTube. So just remember to catch us on these different platforms so that we can be here for you. Other than that, we signing out saying thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern Central Standard Time. Thank you.
Anyway, God bless y'all. We love y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you. Well, have a good weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. I'll probably try to finish up that up either Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I'm thinking one of those days we're going to have an extra episode. I don't want to finish it off that quick, though, the series. We got 2 more episodes for you guys. But I'm going to try to do that for you. And if I do both episodes back to back, that's fine. But I want you guys to be safe out there. It's a very tumultuous world that we're living in right now. And I want you guys to be safe, okay? At all means. You have all this new stuff coming up about human trafficking. Who's doing the human trafficking? Government being involved in human trafficking. We have to take better care of ourselves out here. We have to be aware of our surroundings, especially how they're trying to kidnap us, especially with our women going to the grocery stores. They're putting chemicals on the handles of our cars. So they're rushing us and putting us in vans and kidnapping us. Or it could be on the black organ market or just human trafficking, sex trafficking. We have to be vigilant, you guys. We have to be careful. We have to be, and especially with ICE out here, if things weren't bad enough as it is. So the climate of our world is a very disturbed one right now. And we have to protect our children. We have to protect our family and friends, and we have to protect ourselves. So be aware of your surroundings. Put your phone down when you step outside of a building, when you went somewhere and you come back to your car, put your phone down. Check out your surroundings. Is it a unmarked van with no windows parked close to you? Don't go to your car then. Go back in the building. Talk to somebody. Man, get a security guard to come out to your car, help see you off. Or go with somebody. Go with somebody to the store. Nowadays, you can't do this and trust that everything's going to be all fine and be totally oblivious to how things are being handled in this country. And in countries all over the globe, this stuff is going on. We're not isolated from this, I just want you guys to be safe. I love y'all. I want y'all to keep coming back to get the healing that you need. Can't do that if you're kidnapped or you're unalived. So be careful, y'all. We love you and be safe. We'll see you Tuesday. Take care.